Hello my friends, hello my beautiful ghouls, witches, wizards, anything you want to be, you can be. It's the perfect season. I am here to talk to you guys about all of the books that I want to read in the month of October, in the month of dark academia, spooky season, fall season, sad girl autumn season. It's the season of witches, romance with a little twist of the supernatural. It's just a good season to be alive. It's a good time to be alive right now. And I'm so happy that we're alive at the same time to talk about the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of October. I have spent the day planning my October reads and also all of the movies that I'm gonna watch, all of the pumpkin carvings that I'm gonna do. And it's just, I really hope that this video gives you the same feelings that I have right now because it just feels so nice to feel this way. So I hope that this video sort of gives you this nice, comfy, cozy sort of zone for you to fully embrace fall season and to enjoy everything that's gonna come our way in October. So with much planning and copious amounts of coffee, I have gathered some of the books that I want to read for October, and I thought it would be fun to talk about them. Some of the books in this list are actually recommendations by you guys that you left in the comments of my previous video where I'm recommending books to you for fall season. So this list could literally not exist without you guys. So first and foremost, thank you. And let's dive into the books, shall we? The first book is The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling, and this is the story of a witch who casts a spell on their ex-boyfriend, but something goes wrong and now she has to fix it before her boyfriend ends up dead. It's giving unhinged women with a twist of the supernatural, and you know me, I love me some unhinged women. I love women going insane for good reason. I haven't read enough witchy books that are lighthearted and witty and full of romance and comedy, and I feel like this is the perfect book to fix that. And I've heard so many amazing things, and also the sequel is coming out soon, so I feel like it could be a whole moment reading these two books back to back. The next book is actually going to be a reread for me, and it is The Secret History by Miss Donna Tartt. This cannot be the first time that you hear about this book, but I will not be the last person to talk about this book either. It's dark and twisted, and I think I love it so much because it gives me this sense of belonging. You know what I mean? Like, this reading experience is so immersive that it almost feels like I'm right there with them, committing murders, heinous crimes, just leaving my morality aside and doing what's best for myself, putting myself first, and really using my privilege to my advantage. The Secret History fills this hole in my chest that no other book can. And if murder is what I have to do to fit in with these kids, then murder is what I'll have to do. Fans of The Secret History are also going to love The Picture of Dorian Gray, A Little Life, and The Song of Achilles, 3 books that I absolutely adore. So I just know that I have to reread The Secret History just because it's been so long since I've been in this world of evil and macabre intentions, and I just need to be back in this world. I need to live out my murderous fantasies? That does not sound right. Please don't come for me. If you've read The Secret History, you might not be a stranger to the next book that I want to read, which is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Apparently, this is in the same vein of dark academia and secret societies. It has a lot of references to Shakespeare, and the book starts with our main character freshly out of prison after spending 10 years because of a murder that he may or may not have committed. So the book sort of takes us back through the events of 10 years ago, and we're trying to see if he actually did commit the crime that he was in jail for, or if he was framed. So that's always nice, murder, found family, Shakespeare, privileged white kids. Hey, sign me up. Readers also enjoyed The Secret History, of course, The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and look at this, Vicious by V.E. Schwab. One of my all-time favorite books, a book that I've read over 5 times. excuse me, hi. Anything that's compared to Vicious, I'm like immediately going to read, immediately to the top spot in my TBR. I'm sold. Like as soon as you mention a book is similar to Vicious, I'm like, okay, yes, okay, yeah, give it to me, come on now. The next book that I want to read is actually a classic, and it is called Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm so sorry, Daphne, I mean not Rebecca, sorry.
I won't hesitate, bitch.
This is one of those classics that you hear people talk about all the time. It has one of the most iconic first lines, and the thing is, I've already read this once, but I don't think I gave it enough of an opportunity because I read this while I was on a transatlantic plane ride. I was 13 hours sitting on the same seat next to very loud people. I was very uncomfortable, so I feel like that sort of tainted my reading experience, and I didn't fully immerse myself in the story, and I feel like that's more of a me thing than a book thing, but it definitely influenced my rating. When I first read this book, I gave it 2 stars, and I just think that I could love this book if I gave it another chance. And when I saw that readers also enjoyed Jane Eyre, which is one of my favorite classics, Wuthering Heights, but most of all, readers also enjoyed The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Sorry, I need to put my coffee down. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I don't think I can describe the amount of love and adoration that I have for both The Bell Jar and Sylvia Plath. She is such an enigma, and I've loved getting to know her and her works through her unabridged journals. When I read The Bell Jar, I just fell in love with her writing and her way of thinking. It was like this whole new world suddenly opened up to me through the eyes of Sylvia. So when I saw that readers also enjoyed The Bell Jar, I just knew that I had to give Rebecca another chance. Like, I just have to, because I feel like this book could really be something. I could learn so much from this book if I gave it an honest second chance. So I am very excited that October is finally here so that I can give this book the chance that it deserves, and I'm just very excited, as you can see. Another classic that I want to reread is Frankenstein by the Mary Shelley. Frankenstein is one of the best novels that I've ever read in my life. I love it to bits. It's always so interesting to reread this book for me because I always seem to find something new. It's just the story of love and romance and a call out to society, and also college dropouts and gay scientists or pretend scientists. It's about self-loathing and playing God and the things that we owe to ourselves and the things that we owe to the things that we create. It's about so many things, and at the heart of it all, it just has that je ne sais quoi. Sorry, that is such a cop-out, but like, I find it so incredibly hard to describe what Frankenstein is about, because the romantic in me is just like, this book is about everything, and this book perfectly encapsulates so many feelings and so many emotions, and it makes you see the ugliness of humanity but also the beauty of it. And it's just such an intelligent novel, and I can't wait to reread it. If you haven't read Frankenstein and you're looking for an accessible classic, it's really not that hard, I swear. English is not my first language, and I feel like Frankenstein is one of the first classics that I encountered where I wasn't completely and utterly lost. So in a sense, it also means a lot to me because of that. That and The Picture of Dorian Gray, but yeah, those two forever and always in my heart. And also, if you like Frankenstein, Goodreads recommends The Picture of Dorian Gray. We also have Dracula. We also have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is another fantastic classic to read this time of the year. There is no good reason to not read Frankenstein. This next book, I actually had never heard of it until one of you guys sent it in my YouTube comments for my previous video, and it is called Come Along With Me, written by Shirley Jackson. It's a collection of short stories, including The Lottery, which I have read. Don't even get me started on The Lottery. I feel like that's one of those stories that you can't really talk about because the beauty and the power that that story holds come from not knowing anything at all. Like, you start reading it and you're so confused, but that's part of the experience because it feels like you're a citizen. It feels like you're in this town and you're just talking to your neighbors, trying to understand what's going on. And when you finally understand what's going on, you're like, this can't be right. This cannot be happening. And it's wonderful. This next one was also a recommendation by you guys, and it is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. This is one of those books that I've been wanting to read for years. I actually started it in January, but I decided that it was just too spooky, too perfectly spooky for me to read in January when I could just wait like 8 months to read it again. Nobody Owens, known to his friends as Bod, is a perfectly normal boy. Well, he would be perfectly normal if he didn't live in a graveyard, being raised and educated by ghosts with a solitary guardian who belongs to neither the world of the living nor the world of the dead. That just sounds beautiful. It sounds fantastic, and I can't wait to read it. Readers also enjoyed Coraline, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Under the Whispering Door. I just feel like this is going to be a really good book, and it's giving me those very cozy vibes. It's giving me, yeah, it's giving. Next up, we have a book that ever since I heard it was coming out, I have been counting down the days to read. Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. This is, of course, from Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas movie. We're following Sally, who has recently been crowned the Pumpkin Queen since she married Jack Skellington. Let's go. But apparently even though she loves Jack, maybe she doesn't love being the Pumpkin Queen as much as she thought she would. And this is just her story. This is her book. This is her life. This is the inner workings of her mind and her heart and her soul. And I cannot wait to read this back to watching the movie. Drinking a tall mug of hot chocolate with mini marshmallows sprinkled on top, Nightmare Before Christmas on the background, the soundtrack sounding while I read the book. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be the best time of my life. This is what I was born for, okay? I hope you understand that. Next up, I have some graphic novels that I really want to get to, and the first one is called Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is a love story between a vampire and a werewolf, and I just want to read to you this one beautiful quote that just when I read it, it screamed comfort, and I just knew that I had to read it as soon as I could. Together, they enjoy horror films and scary novels, shady strolls, fine dining, though never with garlic, and a genuine fondness for each other's unusual habits, macabre lifestyles, and monstrous appetites. Are you kidding? Like, I want a love like that. And if I can't have it, the least I can do is read about it. So I'm just really excited for Fangs. I feel like it's going to be so cute and so cozy, and I cannot wait. The next one was another recommendation by you guys, and it was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. High fantasy with a double shot of reinvention, a hot cup of fantasy, slice of life with a dollop of romantic froth. So apparently, as we can see, it takes place in a coffee shop, or at least there's a lot of coffee involved, which is always a plus. People have been recommending this graphic novel to me for so long, and the one thing that they can always agree on is how cozy it is and how comforting it is and how it just feels like you're being wrapped in this huge warm hug. And I need a lot of hugs, so I think I'm really going to appreciate this graphic novel. Then we have another graphic novel that's called Crema, written by Johnny Christmas and Dante Luz. In Crema, we're following our main character who's called Esme, and she is a barista. She feels invisible, sort of like a ghost. And when she drinks enough cups of coffee, she can actually see ghosts. And we also have another character, and apparently it's this romance mixed in with spooky vibes, but also like sort of comforting vibes. And coffee, of course. A good time is never complete without a good cup of coffee, so I am so excited to read Crema. Thank you so much for the recommendation. You are so lovely. The last book that I want to mention is actually a horror manga, and it is The Liminal Zone by Junji Ito. This is his most recent release, and it looks horrendous. It looks horrifying. It looks like I'm going to have a hard time sleeping. It looks like I'm going to have to read this in the dark, and it looks like I'm just going to be terrified for 5 days straight, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, yeah, I love me some good cozy graphic novels, but I have to balance them out with some horrifying manga, otherwise what's the point? This household supports duality, otherwise where's the fun? I just feel like this is going to be perfect fuel for my October nightmares. It's going to be perfectly themed, and it's always nice to keep your nightmares sort of like fresh, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to keep having nightmares about the same thing over and over again. You gotta make things exciting from time to time. So I am so excited to read this new Junji Ito novel. I'm feeling like it's going to be a 5-star, but most of Junji Ito books are for me, so I wouldn't really be surprised. Those are all of the books that I'm currently planning to read on October, but knowing me, and also taking into account the fact that I'm a mood reader, my list in my TBR is probably going to be a lot longer the more that October progresses. Like, I'll see some random person reading this lovely fall book and I'll be like, okay, I need to read that now. So nothing is set in stone, but these are just some of the books that I feel like I need to read in order to achieve the highest heights of autumn and fall and spooky season. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other recommendations, please feel free to leave them down below. Also, let me know what books you are excited to read this autumn, this coming month of October. If you enjoyed and you would like to see more from me, I do have a Patreon that I will be leaving the link down below if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching and for liking and commenting and subscribing and turning on the notification bell. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a lovely day whenever you're seeing this. Bye!
Hey Jimmy, you nice. Keep going.